California's ongoing drought impacts, well, almost everyone. And while we are encouraged to conserve our water, some industries are perceived to use more than their share. In our special report this evening, Courtney Aitken talked to a golf course official to find out how they're keeping courses green while still keeping the drought in mind.
With acres of green grass to water, how do golf courses avoid making a divot in the local water supply? Well, it's all about the irrigation system, which most golf course superintendents will say is the most important part of the course.
It used to be like greens, but when you're on our side of it, it's the irrigation, it's the water.
And it's not just a couple of sprinkler heads. There's several elements at play, including records of each and every sprinkler head on the course, a computerized system that can control them from anywhere, a weather station, and of course, a water source. Some water sources are a bit larger than others.
The Pebble Beach company developed and helped finance what ultimately became a $67 million water recycling project. So that includes a reservoir, all the piping, and the water recycling plant at Cod.
All 5 Pebble Beach courses are irrigated by a designated reservoir that uses recycled water from homes and businesses around the peninsula. What this means is
all the water that's being used on the golf courses is coming from the sewer system. So it's people, flushing their toilets.
Well, with the ongoing drought situation, it's easy to become skeptical when you hear a sprinkler head turn on. But by using reclaimed water, Pebble Beach says that they've managed to save over 7 billion gallons of the same tap water that we fill our bottles with every day. But each course is different. Both the Tihama and Santa Lucia Preserve golf clubs have a water supply that is entirely their own and doesn't lend or take away from public supply.
About 75% of our irrigation water is from the rainfall, from the rain season. We have an extensive drainage system that captures that rain and then stored into irrigation ponds and saved for when we need it.
But with a limited water supply and a short rainy season, golf courses have to get creative in order to keep the water they save from getting out through evaporation.
The water that we have that's stored in the ponds is subject to evaporation. We lose up to 20+% of our water through evaporation, so we have a couple of new mitigation measures that we're using.
One of these measures is floating plastic discs that sit on the water's surface and trap the water so that it can't evaporate. While the technology is still in its trial stages, Butler says that any amount of water saved matters.
We're stewards of the land and of water, and water is very precious to a golf course manager, and we strive in every way to not use any more water than we absolutely need.
Well, the Tihama Golf Club next door may be all about the greens, but according to Superintendent Gavin Dixon, they're okay with leaving some areas brown in order to save water.
Yeah, nobody wants to go golfing where their ball will plug into the soil. It plays better when it's firmer and faster. It doesn't have to be lush green, but we also want to make sure it's alive.
In Monterey County, Courtney Aitken, KION News Channel 546.